I would like to ask you, how much do you know about the environment and the animals around you? How much do you really know about protecting these species? I'd like to inform you that 32 bills that aim to weaken the Endangered Species Act have been introduced since January 2025. The ESA has for 50 years been a critically important tool in restoration and conservation of over 600 threatened and endangered species. These bills aim to delist vulnerable species such as grizzly bears and gray wolves, and also aims to roll back habitat protection, opening land to fossil fuel extraction, and allowing harmful substances to affect protected lands. These bills are not only harmful to the wildlife affected or our environment, but also to us humans as well. Grizzly bears are listed as a threatened population, and gray wolves are on the endangered list with only 200 to 250,000 globally, and only approximately 16,000 in the whole of the US, including Alaska and Hawaii. In these bills, there are a lot more animals that will be directly affected not only by their protections being rolled back, but also due to loss of habitats, funding to keep animals protected under the ESA, making it harder to list animals as endangered, prohibiting the regulation of lead ammunition, which leads to potential lead poisoning of populations, shifting important wildlife management from the federal government to the states, which many do not have sufficient resources or legal mechanisms in place to take lead in conserving the species. The ESA amendments, which would undermine the protections of some of the most vulnerable national park species, the Pet and Livestock Protection Act, which seeks to not only remove gray wolf protections under the ESA and ban judicial review of such decisions, but would also fundamentally weaken the ESA, a law responsible for saving 99% of species under its protection from going extinct, including the bald eagle, Florida manatees, humpback whales, and polar bears. More legislation that you might not think affects wildlife is the Big Beautiful Bill, which has been highly publicized for defunding healthcare coverage, giving huge tax cuts to the wealthiest Americans, and boosting funding for immigration and customs enforcement. It also has provisions that are harmful for animals and the environment. The bill slashes support for renewable energy development and environmental protections, while mandating land leasing to oil, gas, mining, coal, and timber companies. There has also been a proposal to rescind the definition of harm under the ESA. Since 1973, harm included harm not only to the animal itself, but also the habitat it lives in and needs to survive. However, in this proposal, they want to change harm to the direct hurting or killing of an animal. This would put endangered species at risk and potentially reverse 50 years of progress. Fix Our Forest Act, a bill that harms more than helps our forests and removes science from land management decisions. It claims to mitigate fire risk while it only helps the logging industry, and will likely make wildfires worse and more frequent occurrences. The Biggs Amendment. This would make the U.S. military exempt from compliance with the ESA. NMPA Reauthorization Bill. This bill would eviscerate protections for marine animals, including whales, dolphins, seals, sea lions, walruses, manatees, polar bears, and sea otters. May 2025 House Reconciliation Bill would again weaken protections for the critically endangered rice whale and allow gas and oil companies to skip environmental reviews and public accountability. 2026 Commerce, Justice, Science, and Related Agencies Appropriation Bill proposed cuts to NOAA. In this bill, it would put habitat restorations and sustainable restoration programs in jeopardy, while also cutting National Sea Grant College programs. This brings future workers to the field, and it would also affect National Oceans and Coastal Security Fund, which helps communities prepare and help rebuild after flooding. And proposed tax cuts within 2026 House of Appropriations Bill for the Department of the Interior, Environment, and Related Agencies, Department of Commerce, Justice, Science, and Related Agencies, and the State Foreign Operations and Related Programs will defund programs that help migratory birds and other wildlife. You may be wondering, well, what can I do? You can help these wild populations stay protected by reaching out to your government representatives and letting them know that you do not support any of these bills and you stand with wildlife. You can also educate yourselves and those around you by sharing this information and also researching on your own. It is very important that we keep our wildlife protected, as every single animal, no matter how big or how small, they all have a purpose. Protect them while they're still here.